On today's episode of the Cryptoverse, we have a number of big announcements coming out of the VeChain project. We have this story about a Supreme Court in Israel protecting a Bitcoin exchange from its bank denying a bank account. We have a meme of the day showing that clearly graphics cards are still in great demand for cryptocurrency mining. And I'll also tag on to the end of today's show a quick look at the Bitcoin price chart because from what I can see, Bitcoin has found some good support. Now I'm going to tell you all about that in just a moment when I tell you that today's episode is sponsored by Binance. Binance is a cryptocurrency exchange that is rapidly becoming the preferred exchange of cryptocurrency investors worldwide, including myself. So if you sign up for a free account today by clicking on the link in the video description below, that will give me a bit of commission and that will help me fund the production of the Cryptoverse. So there we go. Let's move on with the first story. So the major story is the news coming out of VeChain. So they held a, sort of an event yesterday, an announcement event. And let me just play this video in the background while we talk. So yesterday, VeChain project, they released this recording, which I'll put in the video description and in the show notes. This is an event where they made a number of announcements, right? The first thing that I will say about this launch is the launch, if you look at the staging and so on, it looks a lot more elaborate than the launch of the PETRO. Remember we saw that photo of the small roundtable meeting where the PETRO was supposed to be launched, and this is much more sophisticated, but no surprise there. Now the first announcement was basically that they are rebranding. They say this was a process that took about 6 months, and they're calling it VeChain Thor. Thor as in Thor's hammer, as in, the superhero, right? Now, the idea of the VeChain Thor thing is that they're going to have a 2-token system. So the VeChain core token will be the core token as it is now, but that will produce these VeChain Thor tokens, these VeThor tokens, and they will be used to power transactions. Now, as soon as I heard that, I thought, well, that to me sounds exactly like NEO and its associated gas token that appear when you hold NEO. So that's most likely where they got the idea. But hey, like I always say, you have to go with what works, so that's fine by me. What's also similar to NEO in regards to VeChain is in this presentation they say they're going to focus on regulations and compliance. So this is something that NEO is maintaining as a priority. Right, the NEO team, they specifically intend to build a compliant smart contract platform. So they're not going like against the government or against the legal system or trying to disintermediate them and so on. They're intending to play ball with the powers that be, which is unlike Ethereum and EOS of the world, who are trying to build unstoppable applications. In fact, that's sort of Ethereum's tagline. Another announcement was that BitOcean are going to launch their own token on VeChain Thor. And BitOcean being a crypto sort of ATM and exchange company, a Japanese one, I believe. Another announcement was a partnership with the Mathematical Institute at Oxford University. Now, specifically, the Mathematical Institute at Oxford are going to be contributing to VeChain's research project and helping VeChain to refine their economic model. Another thing they announced was that DNVGL are going to build a food sourcing system on VeChain. So I imagine that's going to be one of those systems that logs all the ingredients in the supply chain, right? So you pick up a banana and it says it's been grown in Mexico and it's organic, and you can prove that is the case and how many food miles it's got on it and all that kind of stuff. Speaking of food miles, another thing that they plan to build on VeChain is a carbon bank, which is designed to reduce carbon emissions, obviously. And they said they'll be working alongside this DMVGL organization and universities and governments on this carbon bank project. At the very end, they also confirmed rumors that VeChain was working with BMW. However, I am not privy to the exact details of that partnership. I've learned to sort of suspend judgment whenever, a new partnership is announced, because once it was discovered that announcing a quote new partnership kind of boosted the token price, everyone started using it, right? For anything and everything. Any little partnership, they would announce it in a press release in order to boost the token price. So I've become increasingly skeptical about what exactly a new partnership means. So at least we know exactly what's going to be going on with Oxford Uni. We know that they are going to be helping them with research and helping them with complex math. But when you say you've partnered with BMW, what on earth does that mean, right? So we now need to exercise a bit more scrutiny and get the exact details on what the partnership's involved before we get too excited. That's probably not going to stop the markets getting excited, but we're level-headed around here. So if anyone has any details, like specific details on the partnership with BMW, I would appreciate it if you would post links in the comments below for me and for the rest of the community. Next story. This is Israeli Supreme Court forbidding a bank to deny access to banking services for a Bitcoin exchange. So this is good news, but it's not as good news as it could be, right? Or not as good news as it first appears. The headline sounds great, but this is just a temporary ruling to allow this Bits of Gold Bitcoin exchange to continue operating while its court case is being decided, right? So the backstory to this is that Bits of Gold Bitcoin exchange has been operating in Israel for about 5 years with a good track record. They're even a licensed currency changer in the country, so they're as legit as they can be. Now, down here in the red, it says, in 2015, the bank decided to close its account despite the company's meticulous conduct, only because the company deals in Bitcoin. So despite them running a tight ship, Leumi Bank decided to close their account. Apparently dealing in Bitcoin, this is according to the bank, exposes the bank to some kind of risk that they do not wish to be exposed to. Not even sure what that means. Anyway, Bits of Gold, this exchange, they decided to take the bank to court, and that case has been ongoing since then. However, they got an injunction, the Bitcoin exchange got an injunction that allowed them to continue business in the meantime until the case was decided. Now, the problem came a few months ago when a district court said that the bank was okay to block Bits of Gold from trading Bitcoin. So that brings us on to the orange bit, which says the company appealed this decision to the Israeli Supreme Court. So that decision by the district court was immediately countered with a temporary injunction, another one, that allows the exchange to continue dealing with virtual currencies until the original case is settled. So the Supreme Court has overruled the district court. So the district court was playing ball with the bank, saying, yes, you can block Bits of Gold exchange from using banking services. And then the Supreme Court came in and said, no, can't do that. You've got to let them continue. We've already said so. They can continue doing business until we've decided on the major case and the entire appeal. So that's that. The Supreme Court even said here, which is why I've highlighted it in yellow, it says the Supreme Court wrote, until now, for more than 5 years in which the account has been operating, these fears have not materialized. So what they're talking about there is this fear of the bank saying, well, we're at risk of, they're exposing us to some risk or other. The Supreme Court's like, well, nothing's happened in the 5 years you've been providing them with banking services, so shut up, right? And it even said here, the district court determined that the company, the Bitcoin exchange, acted transparently and did not violate any statutory provision. So this is an excellent example of a legitimate cryptocurrency business being harassed by a bank without any real grounds. So I think it's fair to say that cryptocurrency exchanges are the new breed of bank. It's like the 21st century bank. And that this fiat currency bank is a bit scared. So let me know what you think to this in the comments below. Can you think of any other reason or anything that would motivate Leumi Bank to act in this way? I always look forward to learning from you all as much as I share my learnings with you. So meme of the day, let's go over here. I was watching Omar Bam from Crypto's News yesterday, and he sometimes does this meme of the day thing, which I thought was a fun idea that I would steal. Got to go with what works. Now, I might not do this every day, but this is the one for today. So someone posted this on Reddit saying that they work at a major electronics store, and it's been like this for nearly a month. They then show this picture, it's a photo, it's a full-length shelf where the graphics cards are supposed to be displayed, and it's completely empty. There is not a single graphics card or box left on the shelf. No, actually, there might be one, which might be a cheaper one at the end there. So what does that tell us? Well, that tells me that people have sufficient confidence in cryptocurrencies that they're willing to go out and, spend money, spend hard cash on some graphics cards, which they know will take a little while to pay off. So they must believe that cryptocurrencies is going to be around at least for that amount of time until they mine enough crypto to pay them back for the cost of the cards and then turn profit. And like I always say, the crypto you mine today is likely going to be worth much more in the future if you can afford to hold on some of the coins that you mine rather than selling it all to pay your bills, right? And actually, if you're interested in mining and learning more about mining, I will refer you to a man who can take, I'd say, most of the credit for my success on YouTube, which is Linus Sebastian. So he has been my role model as a YouTuber, and I love him dearly. I've been watching him for years. He really is my idol. Anyway, not only does he have the best technology channel on YouTube, he's also produced a number of special episodes on cryptocurrencies and cryptocurrency mining, which I think he calls the series Mining Adventure, which you can see here. This is part 4. So his videos put all crypto YouTubers to shame, so I'll let you know that up front, but he has had years to master this art, so I'm going to let myself off the hook a little bit there. I highly recommend watching this series on crypto mining, and episode 4, Mining Adventure Part 4, was posted just yesterday. So check that one out. Even go back to the beginning and watch parts 1, 2, and 3, because it really is a high quality production, and they have done some good research in that regard. So let's close off the show today by looking at the markets. Actually, not the markets. I'm going to look at the Bitcoin chart, and that's all. So long story short, if I get rid of the volume here, Bitcoin looks to have found support at this red line here, which is the 23% Fibonacci line. And this is at a price of $9,278. Now, my Fib lines are based on the major crash from 20K down to 6K, so that's a pretty decent amount of data. And there's the support right there. You can see it visually on the chart. If you're looking at it, if you're not looking at it on the podcast, then you can't see what I'm talking about. But what I see here, now that it's found support, is this looks like a good higher low, which could be establishing a new uptrend. So, like I say, we have price cyclicity in uptrends where you have phase 1s and phase 2s, higher highs and higher lows. Beginning with that 6,000, we hit a top on the 20th of February, and then we've pulled back just to the 23% Fib line, and now we may be taking off once again. And you'll see that the price is now looking back in line with the medium-term trend line that I've got here. There is some price action below it, but I'm going to see if it holds or it resumes. Bottom line is, the next thing to look out for is that $11,306 level, right, which created this shooting star pattern back on the 20th of February. So that was at the phase 1 that we went up here and hit the 38% Fib level at 11,306. That created the shooting star pattern, acted as resistance. Then we've had a pullback to the 23% Fib level, and now we're taking off again. If there is sufficient bullish support and volume, which so far doesn't look to be the case, if we can build some momentum, we're going to have to get enough momentum to break this 11,306 price. I hesitated just then because the volume isn't looking particularly promising. The volume has dropped off, so the selling days seem to have more volume than the buyer days, which isn't ideal. I'd rather it be the other way around. So that's one thing that makes me a little bit cautious about having total confidence in busting that 11,306 level. But we're still up on the day. We're still up on yesterday. So we'll see how the volume pans out as we go. Tomorrow is going to be an interesting day if the price continues up or pulls back, But I want to see the volume. I know I was stating the obvious here. It's going to go up or down. But I want to see the volume in relation to whether the price moves up or down. Because that's how many people, are bullish versus bearish. How much confidence in the downward moves versus the upward moves, right? So I want to see an increase in volume as we approach resistance, because if that happens, then we've got enough momentum to break through that resistance. So hopefully that's clear. That is all I've got for you today. So thank you very much for joining me today. Guys, if you like this episode, go ahead, hit that like button. If you're new around here, get subscribed. If you would like access to my very best material, then head over to my website. It's cryptoversity.com. Click on the courses button, and here you can take any one of my online courses that I've created for your educational delight. Other than that, guys, that is all for today. I'll be back tomorrow with another episode of the Cryptoverse. Until then, it's me, Chris Coney, saying bye for now.